Good morning. Hey, we're going to do our second grade purple group book called America's First Firefighters by Lena Crawford. And I'm guessing since we are learning about Ben Franklin, that he had something to do with the first firefighters as well. So here we go. Our heading is Life in America Long Ago. So the main idea must be what life was like long ago. In the 1700s, America was very different. There were no paved streets or tall buildings. Most people were farmers and they rode horses to get from place to place. People did not have many of the inventions we have today. For example, there were no gas stoves. There weren't any electric lamps either. People used fire instead. They cooked meals in fireplaces and burned candles so they could see at night. But if fires got out of control, they caused big problems. Most homes were made of wood, so they burned very easily. Most homes were also close together, so fires could move quickly from one house to another. People needed to do something to protect themselves and their homes. Fighting fires then. That's our heading. The city of Boston was the first to take action. People were bought People there bought a fire engine designed in England. They pushed or pulled the engine to a fire. They used buckets to fill a tub with water. Then they pumped the engine to push the water from the tub into a hose. Finally, water sprayed out of the hose. It was a lot of work. And here is a picture of that particular, yeah. People in Boston also picked some men to work as firefighters. Benjamin Franklin decided to do something even better in the city of Philadelphia. Franklin formed a fire brigade or team with 30 men. Now, I know you're thinking brigade. Ooh, that's a crazy word. How do I know what that means? But the very next part says or team. So you could have just said Franklin formed a fire team, but he used that big word brigade, and now you will know what that means. They practiced putting out fires and talked about fire safety, and as a result, they were well prepared to fight fires. When fires broke out, people rang bells and shouted for help. The brigade had its own engine that could be pulled to fires. They used horses to pull the engine to the fires as fast as possible. The firefighters also carried buckets that they filled with water from nearby wells. Then they threw the water at the fire. And here's a picture of the brigade, the fire engine with the horses. Benjamin Franklin's brigade was called the Union Fire Company. It was the country's first fire department. It was also one of Franklin's great accomplishments. The Union Fire Company achieved a lot of success. Philadelphia became much safer, so other cities soon followed its example. And here is a image of the leather bucket and the marker for the Union Fire Company. Ooh. Fighting fires now. So this is going to be about currently how we fight fires. Firefighting has changed a lot since those early days. Now firefighters use all kinds of equipment. They ride in trucks instead of on horses. They get water from hydrants instead of wells. And fire trucks have powerful hoses that can spray large amounts of water. They also have long ladders that reach 100 feet off the ground. Firefighters climb them to reach flames high up in the tall buildings. And here are the images of that. There's the fire truck. You're pretty familiar with those since we just had a fire safety day where you guys made Mrs. Waters and Mrs. Heck put on those clothes that weighed more than they do. Today, most firefighters work from fire stations. They keep equipment and trucks inside each station. They also eat and sleep there when they work for a long time. When a fire breaks out, people call 911 to get help. An alarm goes off at the closest fire station. Firefighters rush to put on uniforms. Then they slide down poles to their truck. They hop aboard and race to the fire. There's sliding down the fire truck, and there's all their equipment. Firefighting has changed in other ways. Long ago, only men fought fires. Today, women put out fires too. Some firefighters also help people who are hurt or sick. Firefighters have always been remarkable heroes. People have written articles and stories about how brave firefighters are. They have even composed songs and made statues in honor of firefighters. There's a woman, and then there's statues. How do you think firefighting will change in the future? What kinds of uniforms will firefighters wear? Maybe fire trucks will fly one day. That will help firefighters save even more lives. You think their suits are going to look like that? All right, friends, that is the purple second grade group. Grab your paper and get started.